Let's do the damn thing. Here we go. I'm pretty sure we're working. We're rolling. I hope. Hey, everybody. What is up? Happy Friday, Junior. Coming at you on just another amazing Thursday night. Wow, my glasses are dirty. Uh, I hope you guys have been having an awesome week. I hope that you have a great, fun weekend prepared and planned for yourself, and that you are holding strong to any sort of goals that you've set this year because it is only 1/12/23, you guys. It is January 12th. We are so fresh into this year. We've got what to 353 more opportunities, 353 more days to be super successful with our goals. So if you are watching this live, will you please give it a like? If you're watching the replay, will you please give it a like? And if you're watching the replay, I would love if you commented replay. I just love to know, of course, if anybody takes any value from these things. I love to know that I'm not just talking to a wall. I talked about this on one of my Instagram stories the other day where I was saying how it's super frustrating when people tell me in person, like, oh my gosh, I love your stuff. Great. And I'm like, cool. I have never seen you like a single thing that I've ever posted on the internet. I didn't even know that you knew what the internet was because I've never seen you on there. So thank you, Liesel, for being here. Appreciate you, girl. And so yes, anybody who ever shows me a like, comments on anything, even when you guys just like DM me and stuff, I absolutely love that. So please, please, please let me know so I know I'm not this idiot talking to my computer only. So appreciate you so much. Okay, so let's jump into things here. I really want to talk about one of the challenging things that I see with a lot of people who come to work with us, and this is that whole all or nothing approach. I get this because that used to be me. And I'm not going to lie, every now and then I do fall into those ways and I have to check myself, right? Like, Crystal, what the fuck are you doing? You know that this is not you anymore. You know that this is not something that actually is effective for long-term progress in anything in your life, whether it be physical fitness, whether it be nutrition, whether it be my business, my marriage, my friendships. It just does not have to be all or nothing. And it really can't be all or nothing because that is certainly a recipe for failure. I'm going to take these off because this glare is driving me crazy. I really try to not be in front of my computer a ton, especially this close to bed, because yes, I'll be going to bed in probably like 2-ish hours or so. And so blue light blockers are great for that, but this is just distracting me. So anyways, I'll just chat with you guys here. So all or nothing is very much something that I feel like a lot of us use as an excuse. We use it as a crutch. And if you agree with that, drop me a comment or a like or something and let me know, yep, I can see I'm using all or nothing as an excuse, because it allows us to say, oh, I fucked up. I'm not perfect. I have this high standard of myself, this expectation that I will be perfect. And so because I'm not, because I slipped up, because I went over my calories, because I didn't hit a workout, because I didn't hit my protein, I'm just going to say, fuck it. And that's just what it is, right? Because I expect perfection. And if I'm not, then what am I doing, right? Like, who am I kidding? Thinking that I could have been super successful with this goal when I can't. And that's the problem, is people have this goal thinking that the only way to achieve it is by being perfect, and it's certainly not. That is the exact way to not reach a goal, is expecting that you're going to be perfect at it. And I would ask you to think back to anything that you've done before in life, whether it's at a class that you've taken in school, whether it's a relationship with a loved one, or even, a significant other. Was anything ever perfect? And if so, I would love to know what that was for you, because holy shit, I can't think of anything in my life that has ever been perfect. There have constantly been setbacks and roadblocks and fights and, people getting their feelings hurt and getting upset because things didn't go perfectly. Why were we expecting them to ever be perfect? When again, this doesn't apply to anything that we know of in our lives, right? I've never been perfect at anything. And so it's been very tough to admit that I never will be either, right? It's just never going to happen. So one of the ways that we combat perfectionism inside Carbs and Consistency Coaching is to understand that we have to give ourselves slack. We have to work within ranges. We have to give ourselves reasonable expectations. And so, one of the things that we really like to work with people is like, okay, where's your level of expectation with these goals that we're setting together? Like when I'm doing a weekly check-in with the client, when Liz is doing a weekly check-in with the client, we don't say, all right, you're going to do X, Y, Z. No, I literally ask in my check-in form, what are the 1 to 3 goals that you have for yourself this week, right? What are the action items that you're going to implement so that you can achieve said goals? And again, we look at this on a weekly basis, not what are the 1 to 3 goals that you have for the next 6 months and how are you going to be perfect at them? No, it's look at it a week at a time and break that down into the days of each week, right? Because the whole goal would be for you to get to the end of day 1 of that week and say, damn, I won today. Right? Or maybe I didn't win everything today. Maybe I had like 5 things that were super important that I needed to do, and I got 4 out of 5 of those things. Awesome. How cool is it to win 4 out of 5 things that were supposed to be challenging you that day? And guess what? There's going to be days when you might hit 1 out of 5. There's going to be days when you probably get 0 out of 5, and that's okay because that doesn't have to perpetuate into the next day. It doesn't have to perpetuate into the entire week. It's breaking it down day by day, habit by habit, and asking yourself, what can I celebrate today that was really good for me, even if everything didn't go perfectly? Because guess what? It very rarely goes perfectly. So again, we take these goals, we set them on a week-to-week basis, and we're also identifying like what are the things that could potentially throw us off with our goals, right? So for instance, my friend who is right here on this live with me, my girl Liesel, she told me in her check-in at the start of the week that she would potentially need to be traveling for work this week, but she wasn't sure, right? Because there may have been a chance that they were going to pull that trip away from her, but she wasn't sure of it. So what did she do anyways? Just knowing that there was the possibility of having to go on this trip, she prepared for success. She did her research on where she was staying. She prepped some food in advance. She identified where she could get some groceries if she needed to. She identified some places that were healthy eating options within the area that she'd be staying at, looking to see, will she be able to do a workout at the facility she's staying at? All those things to, again, set herself up for success, knowing that it wasn't going to be a perfect week, right? It wasn't going to be a normal week where she'd be at home. So how can she plan ahead in case that thing happens? And then guess what? If she didn't have to travel, okay, she was just going to do her norm and she would have had food and stuff prepared anyways for being at home or being on the road, because that's what it takes, you guys, is planning. We're not just winging it. We're not just saying, well, if I have to travel, I guess that just fucks up my entire week. No, it's thinking about, if I'm traveling, this is plan A. If I'm not traveling, this is plan B. And yes, I want to stay in my call Google Meet. This is what happens when I do this by myself and nobody's on the Google Meet with me. It thinks that I'm a loser because I am. But again, it's planning for success. And Liesel says, traveled, crushing it. She is. And that's just been so cool to see, because this didn't just happen overnight, right? And it's interesting because she traveled a few times, I know, early on when we were starting coaching back in the summer and stuff. And even back then, she was asking questions about like, what should she do to plan in advance? And now she doesn't even have to ask those questions. She tells me, this is my plan. This is what I know is going to help me to commit to the things I need to do for me. And then I get to be there to like either give her confirmation or tell her, I don't know if that's a great idea, or are you setting your expectations for yourself too high? I just get to be there to, again, give the feedback and support and guidance that she needs, and also tell her, hey, if you need anything else, please let me know. But like, you're so self-sufficient at these things at this point, there's no reason for you to ask me for every little thing. So again, it's all about planning for success. And then this allows her to still probably come back home this weekend, know that she rocked her nutrition while she was traveling for work, so she didn't allow that to deviate her and her targets. And she probably this weekend gets to still go out and have date night with hubby, enjoy an untracked meal, and know that she is still really consistent with her goals for most of the week. Again, we're not looking at how perfect is she for the month of January or the entire year. It's how consistent was she for the week. So again, what breaks away from that all or nothing is not to say that, oh, well, if she all of a sudden like something happened with travel and she fucked up, she couldn't go have date night with hubby. She certainly could, but she knows that, let's say she didn't hit her calories, she didn't hit her protein, she didn't hit her workouts, and she's like, damn, I'm feeling like a failure. Like, I don't deserve to go have date night with my hubby. No, that's not the case at all. It's okay. I kind of sucked at a few things here and there, but guess what? Next week, I don't have travel. I don't have any disruptions. So I'm just going to like nail my protocols even more the following week. Again, that's not going to happen. She's prepared for success. I'm sure she'll have a great date night to tell me all about on Monday. And I'm so excited to hear all about it. She says, huge thanks to you, Crystal, for teaching me all the travel tips. Girl, you guys, that's the thing. I am a professional when it comes to traveling and like staying on track with our goals, at least for the most part. So I am happy to help any of you. Like, that's what I'm here for. And I love, love, love providing any information I can for that, because travel is a big part of my life. And I recognize that a lot of people in my world also love to travel. We love to not have to be at home all the time, especially when we all got stuck at home for a really long time a few years ago, remember? So anyways, let's dive back to consistency and getting out of that all or nothing. So what does this mean? Well, I had some conversations here in some of the group and some of the questions that I was asking in the group this week. Like, I asked people, what is the toughest thing about losing 20 pounds? And it was so funny because one of my friends from middle school, shout out Cassie, she mentioned something about like 75 hard. And I was like, yes, 75 hard, Whole30. These are exactly why I don't like those protocols. And I actually had this conversation with somebody else today where I talked about the fact that if you're following something like 75 hard, it's, for those of you who are unfamiliar, it's 75 days of following these rules. Okay. So I'm not sure of the exact rules. It's something like you're doing 2 45-minute workouts per day. One of them has to be outside. You're doing progress pictures every single day. You're following a diet. It doesn't give you specifics about a diet. You're just following a diet, whatever that looks like. I think it's a gallon of water. I believe it is no alcohol. You have to read for 10 minutes a day. Like, there's so many great things in 75 hard, right? Like, yeah, following a diet, I guess, like following a nutrition protocol would be one way of putting it. Drinking water, yeah, that's a win. Reading for 10 minutes a day, that's awesome. Like, there are good components of it, but the thing is, if you fuck up on a single day, you have to start over. Let's say you made it all the way to day 74, and for whatever reason, you can't do your progress picture that day. Oh, well, you go back to day 1. Like, does that make any sense? Does that actually seem real and sustainable? And does that sound like anything else that you do in life where you make it all the way to the end? Like, you're at that 98%, we're closing in on that finish line, and all of a sudden somebody says, nope, go back to square one. Like, you suck. You messed up one little thing. To fuck you for being a human and messing up. We're not allowed to do that. Go back to the beginning, start over. Do not collect $200. Do not pass go. Does that sound like something that you could see yourself doing for the rest of your life? No. So that is my problem with things like 75 hard and Whole30 is like, you make a mistake, you human, lives, and they want you to start over from square one. Like, that's just ridiculous to me because, again, nothing else in life works that way. Right? It's bizarre. So the goal for us is, how can we be more on than off? So if you're somebody who's followed along in this group for some time, and you've seen me talk about the consistency calendars, that is one of the amazing ways that I get people to see how consistent they're being so that they understand they're no longer an all or nothing person, right? The consistency calendar allows you to see what are the daily habits that you want to apply to your life that are going to benefit your life, that are going to add value to your life, that are going to help you to reach your goals on a day-by-day basis so that you can, again, like I said in the beginning, so that you can celebrate daily wins, the things that you are achieving most of the time, because it is really easy to beat yourself up when you didn't do all the things. So let's take, for instance, on the consistency calendar, I have a few things on there, such as calorie goal, protein goal, water goal, step goal, and a workout goal. Okay. So I have like 5 things on my consistency calendar. And if any of you are one of the people who follows the exact same things I put on there, amazing. Awesome. That makes the math really easy on this. So let's say I did all the things today. I hit my calories, my steps, my water, and my workout, but I didn't hit my protein. Does that mean that I was a complete fucking loser today and I didn't hit my goals and I suck and I have to start over tomorrow? No, it means I didn't hit my protein goal. cool. But guess what? I won 4 out of my 5 things today. And it was good for me because I'm so glad I got in enough calories because I wasn't running all over the place and I wasn't starving myself and I wasn't gorging myself. Like that's what that represents to me. It's like, okay, my nutrition could have been better. I could have hit protein, but at least I fed myself enough quality food. And tomorrow, guess what? I'm going to try really hard to make sure I do all those things plus my protein, or I'm going to work extra hard at my protein because I fell short on it today, right? That's what the consistency calendar recommends. Or recommends. That's what it sort of represents. So that means today, if that were the case, I would have been 80% on point with my goals. Doesn't that sound a whole hell of a lot better than being like, oh, you missed one thing, you suck, you get a 0%, you fail, you do not pass. No, 80% is still passing, you guys. So here's where I want you to break it down for yourself. If your goals for the next year are to make progress, let's get out of that all or nothing mindset. Okay, let's forget about being on point 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Ask yourself what your goals are. They're going to help you show up for you every day. And how can you be at least 80% consistent? Because like, think about that, right? A, 90% or greater. B, 80% or greater. C's get degrees. Okay. All right. So if you're looking for just a C, you just want to be average. Okay, let's see if we can shoot for at least 70%. And if you want a D or an F, well, then you probably shouldn't have any goals anyways, because I'm not gonna lie, but what's the fucking point of having a goal if you want to put in D or F effort? That sounds like a waste of your time and your energy. And you probably better find something else that you're a little bit more passionate about that you want to be above average with, right? Weight loss, you guys, you want to be performing above average because you've likely been average in your pursuit thus far. And that's why you're in a place where perhaps you're wanting to lose weight. And guess what? It doesn't have to be just weight loss. I just say this because I know that's kind of the theme at the start of the year. Everybody thinks they want to lose weight. Like, good for you. Maybe your goal is you want to build muscle. Maybe your goal is you just want to feel healthier. You want to have better energy. Maybe your goal is a fiscal goal where you're like, I want to compete in a race. Great. You need to be above average if you have been previously operating at average capacity. If you just want to be an average person, I don't know, like that just sounds really weird to me, to not have some goals that you want to work for yourself so that you feel like you're at least better than average to yourself. Maybe in somebody else's eyes, you're just average, but to you, you should be like this fucking on a pedestal, right? Like I look at myself every day and I'm like, damn, you're fucking awesome, right? Like look at all the things you've overcome. Look at how you show up for yourself. Look how you show up for other people in your life every day. You're above average. And I don't care if that sounds like conceited or whatever. To me, it sounds confident. Like I am a confident person. I stand for what I believe in and I show up for myself. And I feel really good about the fact that like, I actually like myself. So I want the same thing for each and every one of you. I want you to like yourself. I want you to walk into a room and feel confident. I want you to show up on the internet and feel confident. Do whatever you got to do to feel above average, because that's the level of effort that I want to see from every woman I know in 2023. So tangent, are we surprised? So what does it look like to be at least 80% consistent? Well, let's do a little math here. Let's say you were on point 6 out of 7 days a week, you guys. Like you're doing all the things, but once a week, we fall a little bit short. Okay. Break that down. That's still almost 86% consistent. So if every single week you were crushing it 6 days a week, and maybe, you know, a 7th day, kind of like I talked about my girl Liesl here, she maybe goes and has date night with Heavy or whatever. Let's say that 7th day throws her off of her calories. It throws her off of her protein. Okay, cool, whatever. She's still got at least a B effort by crushing all of her goals those other 6 days out of the week. And just because on that 7th day, maybe she's doing something different with her calories, not hitting her protein, whatever, it doesn't mean that she's also deciding, well, I'm just not going to hit my water. I'm not going to hit my steps. I'm not going to hit my workout. No, it means she's mostly showing up for herself. So again, I really love this mentality of like, hey, let's show up for ourselves with the basics every day. There's absolutely no reason why every single one of us shouldn't be hitting whatever our step goal is, which is going to be different for everyone, 7 days a week. Like just get up and move. Okay. It is literally a blessing to be able to walk on 2 feet. I hope you realize that. There are people who wish they had the ability to walk on 2 feet. You have that ability. You have that blessing. So please don't take it for granted. Okay. Water. This should be, again, a daily non-negotiable. You guys, I was like cursing myself out today because I chugged a gallon of water today before like 10 a.m. And then I was out running errands and I got stuck at a stoplight for forever. And I thought I was going to piss my pants in my car. It was miserable. Please like this if that has ever happened to you, or drop me a comment. Yes, I have almost peed my pants from drinking too much water. But yeah, this is me. I'm like racing to get home. It just felt like I was hitting every red effing light and I was miserable. But anyways, my goal was to get my gallon of water in early because I've been sucking at getting it. So I've been really, really diligent about drinking a gallon before noon every day. So anyways, I'm out running errands and it was miserable. But the point here is get your water in. Again, I feel like I'm fucking pulling teeth trying to get women to drink their water goal every day sometimes. And I don't get it. Like, it's water. You literally, I just sit here and I do this. Like while I'm at my desk or while I'm in my car. It's just not hard. And if it's hard for you, I would love to know like what other basic, easy things are hard for you, because it's not hard. And again, let's go back to being blessed. A lot of people on this planet wish that they had access to fresh, clean water in an abundance like you do. I'm going to Mexico this weekend. Guess what? I hope that, to dear God, that there is some delicious bottled water for me, because I will be drinking so much water. So again, it is a privilege to walk on 2 feet. It is a privilege to drink water. And guess what? It is a privilege to enjoy healthy, quality, whole foods, right? The things that you're eating, those pre-packaged, overly processed, hyper palatable foods, that's not food, you guys. That is a food-like product, okay? There's a reason that they don't go bad in your cupboard for a very long time. So the fact that you even have access to fresh fruits and vegetables and lean quality protein sources, again, a blessing that you take for granted. So stop doing that shit, okay? A lot of people wish that they could fill their fridge with groceries. A lot of you can, and instead you decide to go to fucking Chick-fil-A or Chipotle 6 days a week. Knock that shit off. Buy yourself some real food. I guarantee you'll have better energy. Yeah. So anyways, it's all about deciding what are the things that you can do every single day. Well, every single day you can get in water, you can get in steps, you can get in at least some quality foods, and show up for yourself more often than not. Ideally 6 days a week. If you need to take the 7th day off, amazing, whatever. But that is the secret to getting out of that all or nothing mindset, is remembering that there is no reason to think that you have to do this 7 out of 7 days per week. And just like one last thing that I kind of wanted to follow up with that goes along with this. I'm working with a few brides right now on my roster. I know Liz has got some brides on her roster as well, brides to be. So I have 2 gals, one wedding in August, the other wedding in September, I believe. And so I've literally in their weekly check-ins have countdowns to their wedding date of like, okay, we got 213 days left, right? So if this is you, if you've got an event on your calendar this year, no, I don't want you trying to get healthy just because it's your wedding. I want you getting healthy, excuse me, because you want to feel good in your body for the rest of your life, not just for an event on a calendar. But if this is you and you're motivated by something like that, then actually put that timeline down, right? And ask yourself, what would at least 80% consistent be if I were working with a timeline like that? So let's say, for instance, my girl that I'm working with, she's like 212 days out from her wedding. Okay. So let's say, what's 80% consistency for 212? So I'm doing 212 times 0.8. Okay. 160 set or 169. So 170. So 212 minus 170. So she needs to be on point about 170 days between now and wedding day. That gives her about 42 days where she could just kind of be like, okay, whatever. Like, hey, I'm on vacation. I'm at my bachelorette party. I'm at my bridal shower. I've got this event, whatever. It doesn't mean that on those 42 days, the wheels fall off and she's doing nothing. But it means that, hey, we're going to also manage our expectations with all the things that we've got going on. I'm not expecting her to crush her calories and crush her protein like at her bachelorette party, right? Like, that's not a thing. But this allows her to see that picture of, okay, over the course of the next like 7 months, I need to be on point almost every day, right? That gives her about 6 days a month, which is a little bit more than 1 day every single week where she could potentially be quote unquote off of her targets and still be at least that 80% consistent, right? And so if she were looking at 90% consistency, that means She needs to only have about 21 days over these next 6 months that are quote unquote off, right? So what does this allow us to do? It allows us to look at her calendar and say, what events do you have coming up? Right? Like I know she's traveling. She's got a trip from where she's living now to her home state, where she's going to be traveling for, we'll call it 3 or 4 days. Can't remember offhand, but 3 or 4 days. And that's going to go towards her either 42 or 21, right? Depending how consistent she wants to be. So that's already a chunk right there. Then let's think about, okay, you probably have a bachelorette party. How many days there? Okay, you have this event, that event. How many days is he going to take up? So you can see that those 21 or 42 days that are her sort of like freebie days, if you will, they're not going to go very far. But when you plan in advance and you decide like, well, I really want those days to actually be significant. I don't want one of my quote unquote fuck up days to simply be on a Tuesday because I decided not to like prep some food for myself, because I decided to drop the ball and not get groceries this week, right? So this allows us to be intentional when we're actually looking at a calendar and saying, what are the things that I've got going on over the next few months? And if you don't know exactly what all those dates are, because, you know, not everybody knows that, take it month by month. That's why I love the consistency calendar, because it allows me to look and see, all right, what do I have going on this month? About how consistent can I expect myself to be? So for instance, in the month of January, I am traveling 15 out of 31 days, I think. So I'm really only going to expect myself to be at a standard of about 50% consistent. Does that suck? Yes. Does that mean I'm going to completely fuck up on those 15 days that I'm traveling? No. It just means that I understand I'm probably not going to make a lot of progress in the month of January, and that's okay. In February, when I'm home a little bit more, I'm going to aim to be as on point as possible for that entire month. I'll be gone for 5 days in February. So that means those other 23 days of the month, I'm going to really try to like buckle down and do the things I need to do to take care of me, but I'm also not going to expect perfection. So anyways, I wanted this to be about a half an hour. We're coming up at about 27 minutes. I want to say again, thank you so much to those of you who did tune in live, to anybody who's watching the replay, and anybody who just wants to chat about like what consistency looks like for you, and maybe what some of the goals are that you want to set for yourself to be consistent with in 2023 that could potentially help you to reach whatever your long-term goal is. I would love to chat with you about that. Yes, obviously we do offer coaching. Do I need to sell you on coaching right now? No, I don't give a shit. Honestly, you want to work with us? Amazing. You don't want to? No big deal, but I do want to help. So if you are somebody who actually watched this all the way to the end and you're like, Crystal, I'd really like to take you up on like a call about what that could look like for my own personal goal setting, let me know. And I'd be happy to help you, because I like to reward people who actually like tune in and listen to me ramble for half an hour. So anyways, I appreciate you guys. I'll be heading to Mexico this weekend. It is one of my best friends' like 50th birthday down in Cabo. So Saturday through Wednesday, I got Cabo. Thursday through Monday, I'll be in California. I'll be doing a lot of traveling. And so that's kind of the content you guys are going to see from me next week on social media. I'm going to be talking to you about different travel tips and whatnot, and just kind of hopefully giving you guys ideas, because I know a lot of people are still taking trips coming up over these upcoming holiday weekends, MLK Day, President's Day, Valentine's Day getaways, belated like winter travels, and spring break will be here before you know it. So if you have any questions when it comes to travel in particular, let me know, and I will see if I can loop them into the content somehow this week. And of course, if you guys have anything else that you want to see in here, let me know. I haven't decided if I'm going to go live in here next Thursday or not, because like I said, I'll be traveling for work. So we'll see. But you guys are awesome. I appreciate each and every one of you. Have an amazing rest of your night, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks, you guys.